All right, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, got out on a busy Saturday. A lot of times when the lake is really busy, the fishing's a little tougher, and this was one of those days. But stay tuned. I catch some nice fish, and I'm gonna show you a couple little tips about fishing a jig and a couple things I do to my jig. And I've had some questions recently about my jig, so I'm going to show you some up close and personal shots of the jig, and we will go from there. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out here early on a Saturday morning. It's in the low 40s. It's pretty chilly. That's okay. See if I can catch a few fish and get out of here before it gets too busy. Might as well turn that on. We've got some fog. So this is the first time I've got to fish this week. It's a really busy time where I work, and I got about 2 hours of sleep, so I'm dragging a little bit. We've got a full moon, so that isn't going to help anything. I usually don't do too well on a full moon during the day anyway. There we go. Oh, he came off. Darn it. Darn it. It was a good fish too. Dang it. Never even felt him hit it. All right, well, that at least tells me that they will bite the old jig, which I knew they would. There are just not going to be very many of them today. That hurt. There we go. Ooh. Nice chunky spot. I don't know if the camera shows that, but he's got, looks like a crawdad in his, down in his throat. I like it. Sometimes you just gotta throw the jig. I mean, that fish jumped on it too. Chunky spot. That felt good. Right on the point. Right where they should be. Why only one, though? That's what I don't understand. Hey now. Ah, there he was. Darn it. There was a fish. There we go. There you go, another nice chunky spot. That's a nice one. I'm having to slow her way down and drag the jig, but there's a few fish around. Very few. So every bite I've got has been on a point. Got some seagulls flying around, so I'm keeping my eyes peeled just in case. You never know. They might show me where the stripers are. Haven't seen any evidence of stripers just yet, though. Ooh, you know that headache you get when you don't get enough sleep? I've got that going for me. There's another. Largemouth. It's a little small, but I'll take him. They're liking the jig. That's good. That is good. I like it. Once again, I'm out here on a Saturday, so it's crowded. There's boats everywhere, but that's all right. I'm glad to be out here. It's been too long. it's a good one. Ooh, it's my biggest fish of the day. It's a nice chunky largemouth. Nice one. Man, he jumped on it. Huh, interesting. What do you know? Mr. Largemouth. So that's 2 largemouths today. They are not going to pass up a crawdad meal. I know I've shown it a million times, but there's the setup right there. There's the jig. Okay, so recently I've had a couple of comments asking me about the jigs I make, if they are a football jig, and they are not. So this is one without the skirt on it. You'll see, you see the head there. If you notice, my weed guard is green pumpkin as well, and black. And my hook is not all that big. It's a 2/0 hook I use. For the most part, I throw a 1/4 ounce, which is what this is. One thing you always want to do when you get any jig in the package is you want to trim down that weed guard. This will allow you to hook up a lot better. So I always kind of cut it at an angle. Just like that. Cut it down. So there's the finished product right there. You can, if you notice, there's a lot of blue. I always tie a lot of blue in my skirts. It's basically a dark green pumpkin. There's some black in there. The reason I put blue is because blue is, I've read anyway, that blue is visible deeper. The color blue is visible deeper than other colors. Plus, if you think about it, everything a bass eats has some blue in it. Blueback herring, bluegills, crawdads have blue on them, especially this time of year. But if you follow my channel, you see me throw a jig all year long and catch fish. And honestly, I think a football jig would work. As long as you get the size right and you get the right color, you will get bit on a jig. There we go. Another largemouth. How about that? Another largie. Interesting. I'm telling you, no bass can turn down a jig. It just doesn't happen. They think they're getting a big, juicy crawdad meal. And right now, it's the best way to catch them, in my opinion. So on a day like today, when it's crowded, I'll target areas that I don't think get fished very much. And it usually pays off. There's going to be a fish somewhere right through here, coming up to a point. Oh boy. There we go. Not a striper, but I'll take him. Decent spot. Well, not that decent. Kind of small. It's okay. All right. So thanks again for watching. Make sure you stay tuned. I've got good stuff coming up. The holiday season here is very busy for me. I work a lot of hours and I work nights, so it's very hard for me to get out and get any fishing in. But I've got some a striper pattern that is kind of hit or miss, but when it's on, it's good. So stay tuned. There's going to be some more striper content, and fishing is just starting to get good. I hope. We're kind of behind schedule a little bit. Usually by now the fishing's a lot better, but I can always catch them on a jig. But thanks again for watching. Give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you next time.